Hi again, and welcome back to my channel. This week, I decided that we are going to be talking about Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. And this is another one of the books that I like that has been made into a movie. In fact, a couple of the books by Anne Rice have been made into movies. Although, just from my own experience and from a couple of friends who have read the books, I know that this is the one that has the best movie adaptation. Queen of the Damned is a little bit. Ugh. It, it, it's not horrible. I just know that a lot of people think it could have been better, and I don't really like that book. So there we are. Anyway, um, Interview with the Vampire takes place, um, really, with a young reporter trying to interview the rather old vampire Louis, who had been changed into a vampire by the rather renowned vampire Lestat. And it basically follows Louis's entire story from becoming a vampire, being bitten by Lestat, to going throughout his change and his adjustment into being a vampire, which he really fought at first. He had a really hard time transitioning into the vampire he eventually became. He was super depressed when he was bitten, and Lestat was not exactly nice about like guiding him into being a vampire. He was just kind of like, "You're a vampire," and just shoved him off the branch and expected him to be able to turn into a bat and fly. Like, it didn't work well. So, um, I'm actually impressed with how well um, Brad Pitt was able to kind of take the essence of Louis out of the book and make him into this rather stoic, kind of annoyed all the time at Lestat's stupid antics. He did a good job. Um, and to kind of start us out, I'm going to read the first little bit of the chapter, chapter one. I see, said the vampire thoughtfully, and slowly he walked across the room toward the window. For a long time he stood there against the dim light from, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this, Devis, Devisadero Street, and the passing beams of traffic. The boy could see the furnishings of the room more clearly now. The round oak table, the chairs, a wash basin hung on one wall with a mirror. He set his briefcase on the table and waited. "But how much tape do you have with you?" asked the vampire, turning now so the boy could see his profile. "Enough for the story of a life?" "Sure, if it's a good life. Sometimes I interview as many as 3 or 4 people a night if I'm lucky. But it has to be a good story. That's only fair, isn't it?" And so, as you can see, it really, it literally starts out as an interview. And then once you get past the first little bit of chapter one, it morphs more into a proper story about Louis and Lestat and the other characters that they come in contact with, and that kind of join their little group of misfits. Um, One of the things that I always remember from when I first read this, um, when I was probably about 14, so oh gosh, I read this like 12 years ago, um, was how many people I knew were completely against me reading it because they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's such a dark story. It's gonna make you go all goth and dark. It's uh, it's it's a bad book. It's not. It's really not. Like, this is harmless. There's a couple parts in it that get a little bit racy, but who cares? Um, it's fun to read. And apparently there's a graphic novel. I haven't read the graphic novel. One of my friends has, and she loves it. Um, but if you would like kind of a step away from the more romantic side of vampires that comes with like Twilight, which I hate, um, this could really be the book for you. I always say to people that they should read Dracula by Bram Stoker first because that's really kind of the OG vampire story. But if you're looking for one that's slightly more modern setting and doesn't have quite the language, like the older language of that particular novel, then I would recommend starting here. And this one also has the advantage of not being written in a series of newspaper articles and journal entries. This is more of a linear story, and I think a lot more people are able to read it without getting bored. But Dracula is very good. So yeah, have you read it? Have you watched it? Have you been judged really hard for doing so? Let me know in the comments. And again, if I get 10 comments or more, I will make a follow-up video and I will answer questions to the best of my ability. And I will try to see if I can get a discussion going with some of the comments left. Yeah. I hope you have a really good day and that you enjoy any books you read. Again, if you leave a recommendation for me in the comments, it could end up in a video, possibly. And I hope you have a good day. See you in the next video. Bye.